Bola Tinubu tax forgery exposed. Imagine this, my people. A president signs new tax laws, but later people discover the laws were secretly changed. At first, when we said Tinubu was a fraud, some people laughed and said it was just opposition talk. But now, even his supporters are uncomfortable. The tax laws that were approved by the National Assembly and meant to start on January 1st, 2026 were altered after lawmakers had already passed them. Reports say Tinubu and his team removed parts that allowed oversight and added more power for the executive branch. Let's break it down. 4 tax bills were passed in 2025. Nigeria Tax Act, Nigeria Tax Administration Act (NTAA), Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Act, and Joint Revenue Board Act. But when the final official gazetted versions came out, they were different from what lawmakers approved. An investigation by Business Day Nigeria, working with the minority caucus in the House of Representatives, found that the executive branch interfered with the laws. Shockingly, 3 different versions of the same laws are now circulating. This is a serious threat to democracy. According to Business Day, important sections that ensure transparency and accountability were removed and replaced with clauses that give more powers to the executive. Rep. Kingsley Chinda called it an attack on the powers of the legislature. Channels TV described it as illegal interference. This day reported that the forgery pulled more Nigerians into the tax net, just as President Bola Tinubu promised during his campaigns that he will reduce the purchasing power of the people and widen the tax net, and he has successfully done that. Now, the laws changed by the executive. NTAA Section 29, Subsection 1, the income level tax for reporting was reduced. Individuals from 50 million to 25 million naira. Companies from 250 million to 100 million naira. This was not what the National Assembly passed. What the National Assembly passed was 250 million for companies, but federal government reduced it to 100 million naira, and 50 million naira for individuals, and federal government reduced it to 25 million so they can accommodate more people. This is forgery, and this means more Nigerians must now comply with tax rules. NTAA Section 41, Subsection 8 and 9. New rules were added requiring taxpayers to pay 20% of disputed tax before they can appeal. This means if the taxpayers or the tax collectors come for you, you first of all pay 20% of what they are charging you for if you say they are wrong. And this also means that it can be used to fight the opposition. This also means it can also be used to fight enemies. This was not in the original law and makes justice harder to access. NTAA Section 64, tax authorities were given more powers to arrest people through the police and seize assets without a court order. This is a system of government, of tax collection, where there's no rule of law. Thugs come to your shop or office and seize whatever they want to seize and sell it off without court orders. This is Tinubu's style of leadership. This is what Tinubu is very good at doing. And this was never approved by the lawmakers. NTAA Section 3, Subsection 1B, petroleum income tax and VAT were removed from federal tax definitions, shifting control of major revenues. NTAA Section 39, Subsection 3, petroleum companies are forced to calculate taxes in US dollars, even if transactions were not done in dollars. Nigeria Revenue Service Act, Section 30, Subsection 1D and 30, Subsection 3. Requirements for quarterly and annual reports to the National Assembly were removed, killing oversight and accountability. In conclusion, this is not a mistake or technical error. It is a fraud and a forgery by President Bola Tinubu. The evidence shows that these laws were deliberately forged after approval. Tinubu's administration is directly linked to this forgery, which weakens democracy and destroys public trust. And let's not forget, President Bola Tinubu is very good at anything called forgery. He forged his certificate. He forged a lot of things and is very good at forging virtually everything. We are not joking when we said President Bola Tinubu is a forger. That facts are clear. Nigerians must demand a full investigation. Thanks for watching.